So first thing I did is I did actually replace the spring. Now that's already in there. I've shown spring replacement many times, especially on Gen 8 gearboxes. So I didn't actually video doing that, but you can definitely find lots of them. So I replaced them with an M90 spring, and I replaced them with this type of spring. This was actually from AKGELBLASTER.com. So AKGELBLASTER.com is a great site that I also vouch for. They're based out of Hong Kong. They ship things from there, but they ship fast. Everything should get to you in about a week or less in the United States. So check out akgellblaster.com for accessories like springs, barrels, gears, but then, of course, for awesome blasters. They have a great selection. Of course, the EMERBU itself is from EMERBUtoys.com when they used to sell it. Now they have some different models, better models, mostly with V2 gearboxes, some with Gen 8.5 gearboxes. And they keep bringing some more and more. In fact, they recently just added some blasters, so check out EMERBUtoys.com. Some of their stuff's on Amazon. Amazon's gotten really weird in 2024 about where they're allowing blasters to ship. It's not really following any true rules or regulations. It seems to be very kind of hit or miss as to when they're deciding it's okay to ship to what states, and that doesn't even really follow any laws. But anyway, so go to EMERBUtoys.com. It's easier. And most of their stuff most of their blasters ship from USA. Most of their accessories ship from China. So keep that in mind. That does take longer. So anyway, what I wanted to do here is obviously build out a custom blaster. And what I had a cool handguard design I wanted to use. Kind of, I guess it's got a little bit of a futuristic vibe, and we'll talk about that a little bit. So you can see I've gotten everything painted out. Now, paint I really like lately. I actually bought a 6-pack of them on Amazon. Is this textured Rust-Oleum paint, and this is in black. The reason I like this is, even though I feel like I've gotten pretty good at 3D printing, I can't say that all my prints are always perfect, and to get a really smooth surface can be just very laborious, lots of sanding, and instead you get to put a little bit of texture on there. It covers up some minor 3D printing imperfections, and I like the look of it overall. So I've been using that. It comes in a couple different colors, or of course you could kind of use it as a primer and then put whatever color you want on top, but I've been sticking with black lately because I just kind of like the look of it, and I like that paint. And then usually I just hit it with a clear matte clear coat, right, to protect it. Hardest part is, like, this has already been sitting and dried for a day, but I'm still going to probably leave it for another day before I touch it, and really, I mean really put it together, right, where you're putting your hands on it a lot. That's just going to allow that paint to cure. It's going to get it stronger. You're going to turn out with a better result, okay? So let's talk about all the different things we did here. You can see, first I did all kinds of, there's an outer barrel inside here that definitely is going to keep this metal inner barrel in line until it comes out. The barrel will peek out just slightly past the threaded tips, which is what I like. That reinforces those threads. And then here, this was a piece that I actually did sanded super smooth all the way up to like 1,000 grit. But of course I had a drip, so I've resanded that. This has to get painted again, so that's why it's still got the hook on it. But you can see that this will actually, the threads are all the way at the front of this. So this piece will actually kind of go all the way like this. So it's really going to keep it nice and short, kind of CQB style, which is what I really wanted to do with this. You can also see all these little gold pieces. Those are heat inserts, and that's where I'm going to go ahead and screw in some of the different rails. I just like using the heat inserts. It just allows things to come off easier. In most of the cases, you wouldn't need to be taking those off and on, but I just think it makes them a little more secure than just screwing directly in. So you basically heat those up. You drill holes, you heat those up, and they melt in place. So now so this has the barrel nut on it already. Obviously, this doesn't have to be super pretty because you're not going to see it, so I don't bother painting it. It just was printed out in that black. But then these HK416s have that little notch there, so I made sure to make a rail that is going to fit into that notch perfectly. And it's funny because even this little bit of paint there, so that'll fit perfectly, and obviously this mounts to the top of the handguard. That also just makes it look cleaner, and that also just gives it a little extra stability probably too, since it goes inside the top of the receiver. So that's what we got going there. Other rail, one piece like that's going to go in front, and the matching one on the bottom. So that bottom piece is where we're going to go with this grip, and actually we're going to slide it back all the way so that it hits up against the mag well. So that'll slide back slightly, hit against the mag well, and it kind of fits there perfectly. This little front grip is just going to go on here. And I'm going to slide it in all the way, and then I put a heat insert there that I'm going to be able to go ahead and screw that in nice and tight. So that's going to stay there. Some of these smaller little rails are just made to go right here and then right here. The other thing I'll do with these heat inserts is when you put those nuts through there, is then I can go ahead and go all the way through and basically kind of secure it nicely to this barrel nut, right? So I may even drill a tiny little indentation so that there's a place for those to grab in when I put it in. And again, that just all adds a lot of stability, makes it stronger, makes it work better. When it comes to accessories, right, we got the stock. I guess that's not really an accessory, but the stock that I printed here. So basically a modified version of one I found on Thingiverse. Made it a little different size, a little shorter, do a couple different things to make it print easier. And then, of course, this is just how you're going to lock it down. So kind of a cool, smaller CQB style stock. Nice, big, long, canted rail riser, right? And again, the goal here is also to probably overlap a little bit onto the handguard. Just again, it's always going to give it more stability. And this is the rail that actually goes on top, and that's what those heat inserts are for. So you're going to have, you know, the two rails there. Going to use like an EOTech style sight on the top rail, right? And this is just kind of to customize it a little bit. There will be this piece, and this will just basically go like this. So you got kind of a nice little added visor on there, and then I'll put my little sticker there. Other accessories, just torch style, kind of Surefire style flashlight, torch style that I just kind of made a piece for to make it look cooler, right? Again, incorporating the designs from the handguard where I can. I think that's a cool idea. So made this for our ejection port cover, and that's just going to go there. That'll still be fully functional. Little mag release change up to make it a little different. And we got some different plates here. So you can see one is on here already. This plate will go here. Okay, and again, that circle is just where I'll put my little sticker logo. So that'll fit on there nicely. I left these little holes. I actually pre-drilled them, and I'm going to put tiny little screws that aren't going to really go all the way through them. They're really going to be for cosmetics only. And just because I thought it would be kind of cool to incorporate little screw heads, just kind of the design of this, so it'll make it look, I guess, a little more industrial. I don't even know exactly what look I would say that is, but that's what I kind of left all those little holes for, even, you know, on all these accessories, just so that we can poke little tiny black screws there. So again, it'll keep it all black and everything, which I think is cool. Lastly, this is just for the bottom of the mag. So it's just kind of, again, a nice little piece, dress up the bottom of the mag, kind of tie everything together. So there you go. Oh, I did also make a charging handle, different charging handle, and I was able to incorporate that little panel on the back. Because again, I was like, if I'm going to make one, I want it to kind of incorporate the whole design. And then finally I was able to figure out a way to do that. So I made that one, modified one significantly so that that would work. So those are all the different things I did here. Obviously lots, painted them out really good. We're going to put it back together. Even after I put this handguard together, put all the rails on, I might hit it with one more coat of paint and one more coat of clear, just to make sure it's got a really nice, good coat of paint there. Obviously, I'm going to go ahead and do some coats to get this all good to go. But it's super smooth, and it's going to look really nice. Again, because I spent so much time sanding it. When you have stuff like this with lots of flat areas, you definitely can sand it even, you know, very, very smooth. It does just take a lot of work. So if I had to do that on all these pieces, it would drive me crazy. Not looking to do that because I still think it looks great. So this was a very long video. Hopefully you guys liked all of it. Hopefully you learned something about all of the process. And of course, check back for the finished product. And of course, eventually the demo. So again, AKGELBLASTER.com for accessories and blasters, or EMERBU Toys, EMERBUToys.com for blasters. Comments, questions, post them below. Like, subscribe, share my channel with your friends, participate in those monthly giveaways. Thanks.